She's the reason why you got with that man. She's the reason why you took that job.
If you didn't listen to part 1, go back. But today, we're talking about what happens when your little girl is still making decisions. About who you really are. Grown woman, holding hands, story she needs to tell.
18 to 24, I found myself just having a hard time trying to mesh back into the family again with my truth. That was hard. So I removed myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to remove myself. So this pattern that I found myself doing in life, where things would happen and then it would end. Things would happen and then it would end. I've had a lot of experiences in my life, but they wouldn't last too long. They would end and then a new pattern would arrive. So I knew something was off because I kept saying to myself, I'm observant. I can watch other people. You're not watching your own patterns. Why is it that something happening and it goes down? Something happening and it's going down. What is that about? So probably about 30 is when I said, stop. Let's tackle every different pattern in my life that I'm seeing right now. Why am I accepting myself in this relationship? Why do I want to be heard with this family member? Why my money is not doing this for me? Why am I, my kids are not doing this? Like, what is happening? And I started, it was almost like I was doing inventory of my life, of all the things that I didn't like. Okay. And then I would sit in that inventory and go, okay, what is the common denominator? What is the problem? What am I seeing about this inventory that I'm not liking? And what do I want to see? So then I started writing a list of the things I wanted to see out of my inventory of patterns. Is that making sense?
Oh, it totally makes sense. After healing, in your healing, you opened yourself up to receive the vision.
Yeah.
And you gave our viewers, I just want to recap because this is good. And if you are listening to this, first of all, you're not here by accident.
Yeah.
The order that you brought to a life of ebbs and flows, as we say, but really were patterns that after looking at other people, you had to look back at yourself and say, what's my patterns? What needs to be changed? What am I good with on the other side that I want? The patterns of things that I did not want that kept coming because now they do seep in. They seep into your mindset, your acceptance level. You said, why am I accepting this relationship?
Yes.
Those things this is advice to you if you're listening. And you're feeling something's not right. I don't like my life. I don't like this part of my life. And I cover for it by working hard to fulfill what the parts I don't like don't satisfy.
Yes.
There's your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit will tell you, sit still and let the Lord speak to you. Hear that little voice like Lisa did.
Yes.
You may not have heard it before, but be still.
Yes. And then one day it just came. I said, wait a minute. As I was looking at all the inventory of the pros and the cons of what I wanted, and now I had to put guidelines and structure, like, okay, I'm here. How do I get there? Those are little steps that I was doing. So it took years to conquer these little steps. I mean, I'm 54 right now, so it wasn't an overnight process because sometimes I would stay in a lesson of a pattern for 6 months before I would end it.
Absolutely.
And I realized I couldn't rush through the healing of that pattern, the releasing of the pattern. I tried to do a quick, fix one day of a certain pattern, and then it came back again. So I said, hold on, wait a minute. Why did it come back? I thought I let this go because I was rushing. So I had to reparent myself from all the 20 years or the 18 years that was given to me. I'm still reparenting. I'm 54 and I'm still reparenting. But guess what? I noticed how I've knocked out about 90% of those old patterns.
And we got to celebrate that.
Yes.
We celebrate you now. That's amazing. And we celebrate that little girl. That little girl was
Yes.
no joke.
Oh, goodness
Beyond
gracious.
resilient is the beginning of the definition of her.
Yeah.
She just knew to keep going. She did what she needed to, and those strengths and those skills, it's good to be strong and it's good to know how to take care of yourself. You turned the corner of
Yeah.
just be strong, just be strong, just be strong, just go, 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 do, do, do. You did turn around and say, what can I do for myself?
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah.
about that before we started recording. That was it. That is
Yeah.
it. And so many times we're in trauma mode of just, I'm going to go and do because of the external. Why? I heard you say, why did I need to have that family member believe me?
Yes.
That
Why?
that cuts to the quick. And when you stop and
Why?
ask that question,
Yes.
I was there. I know the truth.
Yes.
And you can
Yep.
choose to believe me, or you can choose not to.
Yep. Yep.
That's release
And
for you.
but I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, Brownsville. Brownsville is one of they would say one of the worst neighborhoods in Brooklyn.
Mm,
And growing up, and I still go there back and forth because my kids live there. And when I do go to Brownsville, I still see me. When I look at the little girls walking around, going to school,
mm,
going to the store, I'm seeing the little me, the unconscious little me, just trying to figure stuff out,
right,
you know?
right.
And this is where I started wanting to write a book. So I had my program already. I had my business up and going, but I said, you know what? How can I be able to put a voice to that little girl in Brownsville?
Mm,
And well, and this is where the book started for me. Um, so being in Brownsville, we have our own language. It's a
mm,
way about us, about being strong, um, and still trying to hold down life in that area. You can see the women really wearing strength on them.
yeah,
But Miss Stacy, that strength, you can see it looks so tiring.
right.
And when I go back to Brownsville, I can see that they're tiresome. And they're still smiling, but they're tiresome.
Yeah.
And so for me, I wanted to write a book that kind of talks about that, about coming from Brownsville,
Okay.
and having so many experiences like they have, and not seeing hope, because that neighborhood, the area, the energy, as you go around there, you can even feel the energy, it changes.
Yeah.
So it's not just, how can I want to say it? It's not just the people. It's almost as if there's so many people put in one area. You can feel like it feels hopeless, like it's a cloud in that area.
Yeah.
And at times, you know, when I do go back home and I see my kids, I can feel that heaviness.
Yeah.
And the heaviness just reminds me of how fortunate where I come from. So for me, this is where I started doing the book. I said, what can I do to kind of make connections on how I can help people see that I too was there, like I am you as well. And these are the things that I come from. But I also want to put it in ways that they can understand.
Yes. You got to meet them where they are
You got to meet them where they are. Yeah. You
and
know,
give them and offer them. You're coming with an offering of hope, especially when people see you. If you don't look like what you've been through and you still are smiling, but you have a lightness, not
right.
the smile through the heaviness, but the genuine free light, confidence, survival, wisdom without and battle scars, but
Mm-hmm.
they're healed scars. They're not open wounds. Those scars that still have a scab on them, if you bump them, they're gonna bleed again.
Yes.
Yours are healed, and now you just have the mark where the cut was.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Do you have the name of
I
your
go
book?
there. So yes, I do. It's called My Sacred Journey, Reparenting My Little Girl.
Nice.
I'm going to be, so it's not finished. It should be finished by the end of February. I got to fine tune it, and it's going to be on my website.
We will drop the information so our audience can look for it?
Yes.
Because this is good. And the beauty about the reparenting term, I think of it as the grown woman I am, I get to take care of my little girl just the way she tells me she needs. See, we didn't have language to tell our parents how to take care of us, or our parents weren't there to take care of us, or our parents weren't able to take care of us. Now that we have language, we can take care of that little girl.
Yes.
If she needs
Yes.
to be hugged, we can give her a hug. We can look
Yes.
her in her eyes and say, "Sweetheart, you are beautiful. This is your identity." We can speak worth to her. If somebody maybe spoke worth to you that you didn't even get to hear or knew that you heard. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you that. It got there and it
Yes.
transformed even the experiences that you went through. You went through them differently because of that worth. So what are
Yes.
the things that you are reparenting? What are the key areas that little girl needed to be reparented in?
Well, first of all, we have to be aware when our little girl is representing for us.
Yes, there it is.
Yes. A lot of times you don't know that she's answering for you. She's representing you. She's in
She's
your
running
relationship.
things.
Yes. She's the reason why you got with that man. She's
Mm,
the reason why you took that job. She's the reason why,
yes,
you cursed out your child. So I had to start seeing the little girl that I didn't like. I didn't like her. I didn't like I loved her, but I didn't like what she was doing.
yes,
And I had to see that and I had to own it. And I was like,
yes,
wait a minute, I manipulate. Wait, me? I was perfect. I manipulate people, you know? And or I just lied about something that was so simple. Why would I lie about that? And I didn't feel good. It could be a little
hmm
question. And because I didn't want to see someone, I didn't want to be right about something. Oh no, we don't, it's not right. And I'm like, that was a lie. Why did I have to lie? So seeing a little girl, but also not being upset about her.
yes,
So a lot of times when people see their little girl, they're angry inside about the behavior. And that's where you don't see the healing because you're now angry within your own self. And now
yes.
you outside attacking people thinking that they did something to you.
Right. I was
No,
going to say, and making it personal.
no. So I had to realize when my little girl was
Mhm.
acting up, she lost a couple of friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
She, she lost a
She,
couple of jobs. I had to see the behavior.
she was having a temper tantrum.
She was having a tension tantrum. Yes, she was. She was. She was. And so for me, being aware of it first, I can now see the patterns.
Mm,
So now, as I'm doing the patterns, I think for me, I had to figure out what would be some of the solutions that can help those behaviors. So I
yeah.
played around with many different solutions.
Okay.
Well, it didn't look good at the beginning. It didn't look good. It was rough.
hmm
It was rough. Um, but over time, I realized that it started becoming easy because when I realized healing was happening,
Mm,
when God was giving me something even more after that, once I stopped feeling what I was feeling. So
yeah.
as I was growing, once I got over a pattern, something great would happen. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is hopeful. And then I wouldn't last too long because
Mm.
remember, I was still putting that manifestation on me saying this too shall pass, even in the good and the bad.
I was I was gonna say on the good things too.
And the good things too. So now I'm suffering because I didn't believe that the good things could last too long. So in my
Mm,
life, that was a pattern. The good, this too should pass. This too should pass. The good things and the bad things. So that's why my life was in waves really quick. So I found myself in and out with just a consistent of in and out, and nothing was scaling up, but it was never scaling down.
mm.
It was just this too should pass, even if it was good or bad. That was
Wow,
still a pattern.
that's huge.
So it's not just looking at what's negative in your life. Look at what's positive in your life. And it is working. How do you make it stay there to make it really work?
Yes.
Because we get a lot of good things in our life, but we lose it. That's where we're not where we're at.
Yeah.
We're not where we're at because we're not seeing even the good and bad that we put in.
Ooh, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That is so profound to be mindful of, that we've got to celebrate and the good, so that to be aware of how do I sustain that. And once I sustain it, then it can elevate. But
Yes.
if the pattern goes back down, you got to go come down to get back up. It's a
Right.
constant climb. And that's where exhaustion comes in, right? That's where discouragement and disappointment comes in, despair, hopelessness.
Yes. Because how would you get, you know, hopefulness if you didn't have things to come up? You got me?
Yes.
But that's where we stay at. We never kind of elevate and keep elevating.
Right.
So that's what the up and down is. It's up and down. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not just always looking at the patterns of the negative. You want to look at the patterns of the positive and see how positive and why did it stop there and why did it last too long? What
Yeah.
is my belief system about this good pattern that I can't sustain it long enough to get to where I want to get to? I had to see it in me. And that's the hardest. Seeing
Yes.
it in yourself.
Yes.
Everyone wants to see it in somebody else, but not see it in themselves.
Yes.
So I
And
didn't start trying to support people until I had to start. I said, you know what? I can't go on the outside and help people heal when I'm still going like this.
yes.
So it took a while for me to go out and start having my sacred stretching. I had to start learning how to heal. And some of the things went from seeing my patterns, how to get it out. I went from doing things emotionally, breathing, exercising, eating healthy, from learning about my skin. Like, what does my skin need? What
Yes.
does my hair need? Not what
Yes.
people tell me, but let me sit and look at my own body, my own feet, nails, skin, eyes, teeth. And what do I see about myself? And why am I seeing that? And what would I like to see? And how to get there. People
Yeah.
think that what they see physical is actually going to be. That's it. There's no hope. And that's the falsehood. Because if I could show you me from 15 years ago to now, is as if I'm getting older or younger.
I call it aging backwards because I do it too.
No,
I've done it too.
I'm getting older, younger. I
Yes.
feel better. I feel lighter. I'm stripping all the belief system about me. I don't have that here.
Beautiful. You've given grains of advice along the way. And
Yeah,
just for our listeners to be mindful of
yeah,
the words they speak over themselves, and also to, as the watching for patterns, to be able to be still. People
yes,
see what's going on with everybody else, and especially in people who have been in trauma.
yeah,
I think it's easy to make the focus, I'm the victim.
yes,
You're actually the victor
yes, yeah,
when you shift. That happened. How can I learn and grow from it? How can I heal from it? It's a choice to step in healing. It's a choice to do that inward look. You don't heal what you don't know is there, because you just go through the behavior patterns that are survival, to not bump that scar with the scab on it, because it's going to bleed again because it's not healed.
yes. So now you see how we're talking about our inner child healing. And you asked me questions about my past and my story. And I get stuck when I speak about my past because it's not that I don't like to speak about it. I will tell the story. I don't want to, it's not about the past. I think for me, I'm more comfortable speaking about how I overcome it and how to overcome it and put more inspiration in people instead
Mm-hmm.
of trying to take away from talking about the negative side of my life, right? So
Yes.
every time someone asks me about my past, I'll mention it quickly. It's brief. Even I try to I fumble sometimes because it's like, that's not me. I don't feel that. That's a story that I choose
Yes.
not to keep playing in my body. So I
Yes.
fumbled a little bit. But when we start talking about how we healed, oh, I could go right into that with eyes closed and you know what I'm saying, with a heart open. I can speak that to the hour of kingdom come. But
Yes.
when it speaks about my past, I start to get uncomfortable.
That makes sense.
Yes, because it's not about reliving it in my cells,
Yes.
right? I will tell about it, but I don't want to go into every concrete detail for me. It's not important. It doesn't matter, right? The past is
And
only because you believe it. So I'm using my past to inspire. Now I'll tell the story, and I even tell the stories in my book. I don't go into so much detail because I don't want that book to be more about my pain. I don't want anyone connecting to my pain. I want them
yeah.
to connect to how I came out of it.
And for my listener, I asked for the story so that people say, "Oh, she was like I was, and I see her
Yep.
now.
Yep.
I want to be like her now." And because
Yes.
I can get it gives her credibility if she says something I experienced.
Yes.
Now I know because part of the lie in it is my book, No More Lies. Part of the lie is believing
Yes.
you're the only one who's ever been through
Yes.
that. Or you're because you
Yes.
didn't have language, you couldn't tell people,
Yes.
you couldn't connect with people. So the loneliness and the lie that it's just you and ain't
Yes.
nobody gonna listen to you is part of
Yes.
what keeps people locked in. I love how you modeled on the other side there is healing. My book, on the other side there is hope. That's
Yes.
what your Lisa is modeling the other side and referencing the launch points for the healing, the areas that had to be redefined and restructured. The patterns had to be broken, but the identification of that point where healing that inner little girl and her beliefs and the way she responded and the way she showed up became just a touch point. But if you've never given it voice, you don't know how to touch it.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the encouragement of Stacy Speaks Hope is find out what that little girl has to say. Trust her, give her the voice as an adult that she didn't have. That's the reparenting part. Find that little girl and connect with her. If you saw a little girl on the street corner crying her eyes out, the first thing you
Mhm.
want to do is connect with her and find out what happened. As
Yeah.
a woman, if you're choosing bad partners, lashing out at everybody, cussing folks out, just out of control, even in yourself. You're that little girl crying, having the temper
Yes.
that you don't have words for those emotions. Ask
Yes.
the little girl, baby, what's wrong? What happened? That's
Yes.
a simple question. What happened?
Yes. And that's why I give that space why it's called sacred stretching.
And it's so amazing how the things get trapped in the body
Yes.
and how physical movement gives articulation of voice to that thing that was maybe never said, never recognized, never acknowledged.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you are connecting to the person by listening, by seeing beyond the surface
Yeah.
and being able to love like Jesus loved because it's not I'm not going to look at your behavior. I'm going to look at your heart. And we're binding up the brokenhearted.
Yes.
Isaiah 61, that is just my verse, 1 through 3, all the way up to, and give them beauty for ashes. Restore the oil of joy for the spirit of heaviness, hopelessness, despair.
Yes.
What this conversation and these types of conversations are about. There's hope because it can only pass. It will pass, but it can only pass if you know how to address it, to identify it, to move through it physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
If you've been listening to this and thinking, wow, I thought I'd be farther by now, this message is for you. Disappointment has a way of convincing even strong women that they've missed something and that they've made the wrong choice and now it's too late. But the little girl inside of you was just doing what she did to survive. She made decisions with the tools that she had. And God has never been confused about your story. He knew every choice, every detour, every relationship, and every closed door. You, my dear, are not behind. You are becoming. Healing is not about shaming the woman you are. It's about lovingly leading her forward. So before your next decision, pause and pray. Ask yourself, am I choosing from disappointment or from wholeness? When I then take her hand, choose like the woman you're becoming. If this spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs to know that she is mine. I'll see you next time on Stacy Speaks Home. Be blessed.